2, 3. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Ms Steph here. I am coming on to do Science with Ms Steph. We are in episode 7. This is episode 7 of season 2, folks. We are just moving right along. I mean, it's going to be time to do cake and chemistry again soon. Yeah. We have to figure out how we want to do that, you know? Last year we did that remotely, right? We did this like thing and I did some, had some guests on and all that type of stuff. But anywho, welcome to Science with Ms. Steph. Today is September 25th. 2021, September 25th, 2021. And this is season 2, episode 7 of Science with Ms. Steph. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got folks over here on Instagram and we have people over on the YT YouTube. So today's activity is really going to be quite simple. All you have to do is find the water. That's it. Just find the water. Find the water. That's it. So I'm actually going to run this from the teacher's end of things for you. So kids, definitely watch if you want to, if you kind of like want to learn my secrets and stuff, as far as what I'm doing in the background. But this episode is a bit geared towards more geared towards educators. Okay. Also keep in mind, folks, you can subscribe, follow, all that type of stuff. Of course, yeah. But also in particular, like if you want to make a request, if you want to ask me to do a specific activity for you, definitely feel free. Send me a message, send me an email. You can email me at Ms Steph at tfempowerment.org. Let's see if I have my email. There we go. Putting that up for my YT people. You can email me at mssteph at tfempowerment.org. All right. If you're like, Ms. Steph, I want to come and join you and be a part of, there's different ways that I can put you either on Instagram over here, or you can join me on the StreamYard situation that I've got going on for YouTube. You can come on and hang out, and you can of course request. You can make requests for activities. I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you, right? You can request activities, right? You can request things because y'all know I have a lot of science materials in my house. And so you can make a request and ask me to do that. Anywho, like I said, we are rocking things out. Thank you so much for joining me today for Science with Ms. Steph. We are going to have a great time exploring how you can work with your students, with your kids, with your boy or Girl Scout troop, with your church youth group, with your different things, right? Y'all know I have a pretty broad audience, okay? And so today, like I said, I am going to help the adults out a little bit today. So the first thing that you would do if you're setting up for this activity, you need to make sure that you've got all of your materials, right? Materials that you're going to need. You're going to need baby oil. You really want to have 2 clear liquids for this to work. Okay? Because if they're different colors already, the kids are going to be like, whatever. The kids are going to tell you that the clear one is the water, right? So you're wanting them to, at any level, I've done this with daycare students this past week, and I did this with kindergarten and first grade and just all kinds of grades. Okay. So I just want to make sure that this is working. Okay, cool. All right. I hope y'all can see that because over on Instagram, they're blocking me with stuff. So I don't know why it says that, but whatever. So let's move this. Boom. Okay. So you're prepping your classroom for this activity, right? Like I said, you want 2 clear liquids. You can go for a 3rd liquid, but it gets a little more complicated than you might want it to be, especially if you're working with the really young children, okay? So you pour, again, you do this so the children can't see you. Kids, hide your eyes, close your eyes, cover your eyes, right? So you pour water into 1 cup. You put baby oil into another cup, like so. Right? Baby oil, baby oil. Ideally, you make sure that it's at the same level. Again, folks, this is Ms Steph here, and this is the 7th episode of season 2 of Science with Ms Steph, right? And so today, as I said, similar to my how to do slime a couple of months ago, this is a little bit more like adult centered. But of course, kids, if you want to do it with me, you can. So you're putting water in 1 cup. It does not matter which cup it is, but you put water in 1 cup and you put baby oil in the other cup. Notice how these essentially look like they're the same liquid. Okay. And so then you walk your students through, okay, in your own way. I usually do like we do the observation song. Honey child. We do the observation song and we do some other different things to warm them up, and then you bring them the materials and you say, okay, everyone's going to get 2 cups. Granted, like I said, you're going to be age appropriate. So if I'm working with my littles, I go, hi, we're all getting 2 cups. How many cups? 2 cups. Everybody say 2 cups, right? You know, you want to really engage them, make it fun. Okay. Make it fun because that's what we do. We make it fun, right? So you give them their 2 cups. And depending on, again, the age group, you talk to them about what they see. We are wearing masks these days, being in person. Hello, yes, we are. So they may or may not be able to smell it. We all know as scientists, when we're smelling something, we want to do like that. We don't just put our faces in it, So these are different things that you can be doing with the children that help them learn, okay, that help them learn not only science concepts but science skills, the idea of what it is to be a scientist and how am I a scientist, right? So you present the 2 cups in front of them in whatever way, shape, or form you want to do that. You put the cups in front of them. Then after getting the cups in front of them, you're going to, let's tag you, okay. Boom. There we go. After getting the cups in front of them, you're going to tell them that one of them is water. Okay? You're not going to tell them which one, because then why are they finding the water if they already know which one it is, right? Okay? You're going to tell your kids, your students, nieces, nephews, right? Boy or Girl Scout, troop, eagle, whatever, right? Okay? You're going to tell them one of these is water. Okay? The other thing that you're going to need or want, all right, is these, right? As you can tell, this is a Steve Spangler product. I have a tendency to not use a whole lot of like other science teachers' products, only because I mean I usually know how to put the kits together and stuff. But there's certain products that I use from other folks. Shout out to Science Teacher Mom, by the way. Y'all, if you want some kits, especially over here on Instagram, she's very active on Instagram. She does kits, like that's one of the major things that she does. She's a science teacher, but she also does like kits. If you're looking to get some kits, definitely hit her up. So yeah, but anywho, this is a Steve Spangler product, and the fun thing about these, okay, it's a way to react, okay, to cause a reaction without it being quite so messy. I love food coloring. We all know that food coloring is my favorite, favorite material. But frankly, food coloring is messy. Also, for educators similar to myself, like you're traveling with just stuff. Okay. I know I'm being dramatic, but you all know you're traveling with quite a few items sometimes. And so you're not wanting to have to like lug the food coloring. I'm trying to have this centered as well as make it so that Instagram can see me. Okay. And also so they're not seeing too much of this stuff over here. Right. So one of the things that these color fizzy tablets do is that you don't have to take bottles of food coloring. Also, the kids can add the color themselves. But these only they react solely in water-based liquid. Okay? They fizz. Right? And so the thing that you're going to tell your students at this point, once they've gotten their 2 cups and you've decided whether or not you want them to smell it, whether or not you want them to touch what's inside of the cup, all that type of stuff, right? Because you and I all like we all know baby oil has a different smell to it than water. Water shouldn't smell like anything, girl. Okay. So right. So you set it out in front of them and however you want to do this. This is another activity that is like really great during this particular season of life because most of the time science teachers were doing these group activities because one of the standards is that teaching them how to work in a group. However, working in a group right now, maybe not so much, right? And so water and some baby oil are pretty easy to get your hands on and also pretty cost effective. And again, these tablets, they come 100 and they come 100 inside this thing. Now, they're not cheap though. They are a good $10 or so on Amazon per pack. Okay. But again, easy. The kids can add them, all that type of stuff, and they only react to water. So that's the thing that you're going to somehow communicate to your students. You can either, sometimes I'll ask them in question form, like, what do you think will happen when I add these? Usually people like to tell me that things explode. Everyone's a little obsessed with explosions. Just a little obsessed with explosions. Uh-oh. Y'all know we didn't post, right? We didn't I didn't do anything, any posting. Y'all give me a second so that I can like let our Facebook friends know that we're on. Yeah, so the kids will say, "Oh, I think it's going to do this, that, and whatever." So you want to walk them through that. Again, thinking about how you can do this activity with your students, make it age appropriate, make it fun for them. Um, but I'm telling you that these react. There we go. Look at them. See them, see them, see them. See them, see them, see them. They react in water. Okay? That's what they're going to react in. Okay? And so what you can start to, as you can imagine, right? What you can start to kind of walk the children through is this idea that if something reacts in one thing, okay, and I'm adding it to the two things, right? I should see one thing actually react. I should see some type of reaction, either bubble, color change, or both, right? And then I can have them start to kind of talk more about, um, like I said, what they think will happen, and then there we go, and then they give predictions, and of course you're the adult, right? You're the instructor, so you're either, depending on what you're trying to teach them that day, maybe you drive them towards saying, hey, it's going to bubble over, or maybe you want to drive them towards the tablet that makes when the tablet makes contact with water, right? Notice how I switched my my verbiage there for an older group of students. When the tablet is making contact with water, it's going to actually react, so on and so forth. And it's going to change color, or I'm going to get bubbles, whatever, right? Like you talk them kind of through what you want to do. Okay. My thing with my littles, I make it a point to tell them it's going to, they're called color fizzy tablets. So it's going to fizz and change color in water. Right. And then you walk them through the logic of if I say it does something in water, And I'm telling you to find the water, right? The thing that when it reacts, okay, that liquid must be the water, and the other thing must be the baby oil. Okay. So I am going to also do something else so that later on in our time together, which won't be much longer, we can make some adjustments. All right. So you can go around. Like I said, this is really fun for the kids because even during this time, they can have their own, right? You can give them their own tablet. Again, these tablets are a lot easier to use and to manage than some food coloring. Food coloring normally gets all over the kids' hands, it's all over their clothes, it's just everywhere. Now, again, we all know I love food coloring, but sometimes you can't. It's too much. All right. Another thing that you can consider doing is some color mixing because these come in the essentially primary colors. Okay. So we've got this kind of pink situation, which is supposed to be the red, but I'm telling you, I'm emotionally preparing you. This gives you much more of a pink when you actually see it mix in with the water. Okay. Your blue is it's a nice, pretty true blue. All right. So you can imagine later you can talk about color mixing and all that type of stuff. So I'm going to go for one tablet inside of each cup. Once again, we've already walked the children through a hypothesis process, a prediction process, because they're scientists. They need to be able to think through what would make sense. Okay. Think through how they're going to find the water because remember, you've only told them that one of these cups is the water. You did that whole thing that I did with you at the very beginning to the side. You did not do that in front of them, right? This is me helping you do you. Okay. Right. So you did that to the side. Then you sat the cups, remember, each kid, just make sure, right? Because they're not going to be labeled because they're supposed to find the water. So they're not going, this is not an activity where you're labeling the liquid. Okay. So you need to make sure that each child gets one of each so that they can have it sitting in front of them, give them an opportunity to practice patience, right? Because they're going to want to put their face in it, they're going to want to touch it and smell it, all those things. So you're outlining all those things for them. You're helping them be scientists, be responsible, respectful scientist, and yet still get a chance to do a hands-on component. Once again, here comes the tablets in. So you set tablets in front of children. You can let them choose their color if you have enough, all that type of stuff. I would, if I were you, encourage them to choose different colors, to choose 2 different colors so that later, if you want to mix it, because they're going to ask you what happens if you mix it, they're going to ask you that. Okay. Remember, today's video is more geared towards the adults. So, kids, if you're watching, you're learning all the secrets that science teachers are doing behind the scenes. Okay. But yeah, so you give them the tablets. You either put it on their table or whatever. The tablets are non-toxic. They're not gonna. It's not gonna make them sick. Okay. All right. So they drop the tablets in, and they're gonna want to put their face in, and they should immediately start to chit chat. They should immediately start to talk, right? Because this reaction is immediate. Another thing that happens with the fizzy tablets is that the reaction is immediate. Okay, do y'all see what's happening? It's quite cool. So first of all, we're getting a lot of stuff. Uh, okay. So over on Instagram, you're able to see it. There's this a little bit of fizz coming out of the tablet that's in the what. This one we know is in the oil. You're going to ask the kids why. They're going to start to tell you which one it is, right? You're going to ask the kids why. Why is this one the water? And why is this one the oil? What happened? Which one reacted? Which one fizzed? Which one changed colors? Because you've already given them enough information in the beginning. You don't want to um, just leave them out there. You do want to give them enough information so that they can have a successful moment and they could clearly understand that they're going to say, "Ooh." See, that's why I've got this this there. Okay. Um, and that totally will happen. Okay. There will be oil all over. They're going to want to like shake it, especially when we do the very last thing where when you let them combine it. Okay. Which you should. You should let them combine the two cups because it's like fun. It's entertaining. Okay. And we'll do that very shortly. But in particular, I have noticed that the students, they might not bump it just like that, but when they add the things together, they kind of want to swirl it because they think it needs to be swirled to mix in, right? And so you want to make that clear for them that they don't need to do that, all right? And that they can just use their eyes, okay? Their eyes for this particular activity, right? So then now, once everybody has determined that this particular cup is the water cup because it reacted, it fizzed, it dissolved, right? Depending on how old the children are and what their understanding of certain processes are, they may try to tell you that it melted. We know as science teachers that it's not melting. Melting is a different process. Melting is going from solid to liquid, typically with heat. Well, not typically, with the heat applied, right? You're doing a states of matter change. Okay, this is a dissolving where your liquid and solid are mixing together, and the solid is looking like it has started to either disappear or combine completely with the substance, with your liquid. All right. So again, you want to make that clear for them that it's dissolving or fizzing, reacting. It's okay for that, but you don't want them to start to anchor that it's melted. It's a different thing. Additionally, they'll be tested on that. Okay, the fourth grade science test here in New York City. Ask them, what's like? Did something melt, evaporate, all that type of stuff? So you definitely don't want them to start to think that they can call those things the same, those processes the same, because they're not. Melt and dissolve, by far not the same thing, because something can melt without you needing without you having to add liquid, right? Okay. Melting, you need to add heat. Okay. Do. Now, moving on, because I want to make sure that we can get to some other things, to these things that are over here. I want you to get to see this. And again, especially since I'm going kind of more of a um, talk to the adults thing today, I want to talk to you a bit about this because this is from an activity we did. Maybe this was episode 2 or 3 this season. And I want to make a point about why I still have them and kind of how you can teach into things that just sit in the window somewhere. All right, so continuing on with this activity, the find the water. So the water has been found. Now, most of your students, kids, troop members, whatever, y'all know, group member, youth group, whatever, they're going to, what happens if I mix it together? Your response as an educator, as someone that should be, we can do that. Who wants to see that? Right? You don't want to tell them what happens already, because if you have enough time to either show them with your own set or to let them combine it themselves, which most definitely I'm encouraging you to let them combine it for themselves, because hello, it's just makes it more fun. You want them to get to see it. The other thing that you want to make a point of doing, okay, in my opinion, this is my opinion, this is how I like to do this. You can have them I'm trying to get this here, bring you down. Y'all see I'm having a little technical whatnot. You can have them combine it, right? Give them instructions to be able to empower them to do it successfully, so it's not a huge giant mess. Messes, we're not trying to avoid mess, but we're trying to avoid unnecessary mess. Science is messy, but we don't just make mess to be messy, right? So you want to have them, like I said, this is my opinion, add the water into the oil. The reason I do it that way is for the following. I'm adding water into the oil. Let's find out if the reaction starts, what happens, right? You should notice I'm getting a fizz again, okay? Right? I'm getting fizz. Remember how I was saying you can do different colors, right? So you're getting a chance to show them some primary colors mixed together, right? You're also getting a chance to show them that water, okay, even though I'm pouring it on top, the water went to the bottom. So that's why I like to pour the water into here. They're getting to see that the water will go to the bottom. Hello, okay. They're getting to see that the water most definitely reacts. Okay, the water is going to react to the, hey girl, to the substance, right? To your fizzy tablet. The water is most definitely going to react. Even though you've had it sitting in oil, that tablet has been sitting in the oil. Okay, the tablet and the water get to react. Okay, and then you have the oil sitting on top, even though the oil was on the bottom. Pouring the water displace the oil. The oil is now floating on top. Okay. And so now, with some of your elder students, you can have a conversation about density. You can also talk to them about hydrophobic and hydrophilic, all that type of stuff. Remember, we did the cocoa powder thing? Okay. All of these activities relate to each other, or they can just be their own individual situation. Hey, Jean, it's good to see you, sis. Hi, hi, hi. Okay. So, like I said, today's episode was a bit more like for the grown-ups to teach the kids. Okay. So hopefully some of my fellow like science teachers and all that type of stuff, I know we all follow each other and get ideas from each other. Um, but this particular activity I think is really great for those of you running daycares, for those of you who aren't able to come get me to come talk to your kids in person, right? This is really, really good for daycare. But then, as I've said, you can talk about density and all kinds of other things. And so you can definitely teach into this for all the way up to, I would say, sixth grade. I mean, you could probably go older if you were going to really go into um, like chemical properties and if you wanted to discuss, if you wanted to discuss what is hydrophobic and like really hydrophobic, hydrophilic, if you were doing maybe a unit on fatty acids, if you wanted to like really go into that conversation, say with like 12th graders and college and all that type of stuff. But y'all know I work with the little ones. Okay. So they're my focus. So this activity is essentially over. Okay. So, but y'all see, we worked it through. Now, okay, let's talk about why I have this saved and how you can kind of teach into stuff being sitting in your classroom, sitting in your windowsill at home, and all that type of stuff. This type of thing, you're not sending this home with kids. Ciao. No. Um, one caveat: if you have plastic bottles, if you want to send it home, you can. Okay. And you know, this is real similar to lava lamp. You see how this is almost like a not a deconstructed lava lamp. This is a lava lamp turned like on one side, right? Because I use the fizzy tablets instead of the Alka-Seltzer. You notice the fizz is not as strong as your Alka-Seltzer, okay? Which is why it's not a real true lava lamp reaction. You're not going to get the bubbles going up and down, okay? Let's put that to the side. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Few like, I don't remember. I should probably have checked which episode. Let's see if I can find what episode that was. Um, do. Oh. Maybe this was like episode, I think it was like 3. Okay. Season 2, episode 3, when I did this. So y'all see what this looks like now? This is my salt sample. All the way from our crystal episode. Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is less to explain it. Explain how to do it. Like, definitely go back. I have several crystal stuff on Instagram and over here on YouTube and Facebook. Like, I've done it before, and trust, we'll do it again. I'm showing you this more so that you can think of the importance of saving your kids' projects. Okay. And the importance of saving, like I said, I know that I'm talking to different kinds of folks saving projects over the long term in your classrooms, right? Or again, if there's somewhere, because I know a lot of us do shared space, and I know that it's hard to save stuff, but if you can let it sit, it's really cool for the kids to be able to see what happens to it. So going back to the different processes when I was talking about evaporation, right? Evaporation is what? Do you remember what evaporation is? Liquid going to gas. Again, that's done through adding some amount of heat, like a certain amount of heat, okay? Um, and just letting it sit, right? In the window. This was in my kitchen window, okay? And again, if you go back and look at the episodes from probably about 2 months ago, you'll see that this was all liquid. Okay, and you're hanging off with the beaker. By the way, this washes off. This washes off very easily. Okay. But the crystals have formed, which they did. I mean, the crystals formed that day. I had some crystals that were already forming on, you see, we've got another reaction happening. We've got a rust reaction happening too, right? So another thing is very fun. We've got some rust hanging on there. Okay. Um, so because of the salts and the breaking down of the metal that's inside of the clip. Okay. But anywho, so yeah, so the crystal like formed and all that whatnot. And then as the liquid was evaporating, it was a super saturated liquid. It evaporated. And as it came up, it just worked its way up. This was our salt solution. It worked its way up over and then down this beaker. All this stuff was inside of the beaker. It wasn't like all hanging out like that. And if you look at the craft stick there, you see it? You see how the craft stick is like totally covered. Okay. So that's the salt one. That's the salt. Again, letting your child just kind of look at that and let that develop over a couple of weeks. Well, this has been, some time now, longer than a couple of weeks, but letting them see it develop and change over a long period of time really helps them anchor and start to kind of understand that certain processes take a long time. All right, so you see me lifting this up because everything has started to kind of like stick together. I'm gonna pull this off a bit. Okay. Okay. So this has hardened. And here are my borax crystals. The borax crystals are really cool, yeah? Yeah? How do we like our borax crystals? See? It's not wanting to focus. There we go. All right, so yeah, so the borax crystals formed. Now, with the borax, you notice it didn't like come up and over the container. It more formed something down in the bottom. I know, right? Isn't it cool? See? And once again, this similar to the salt. This I can add some hot water to this and dissolve it and then just rinse it with a lot of water. It can go down the sink. Okay. So I mean, letting them see this. If you've got the space, I know, especially for us New Yorkers, like space is hard to come by, and sometimes you don't want the kids like having things spill over, all that type of stuff. I get it. But if you can get a few things like this that can sit in the window, plants that sit in the window, or like I said, this one is harder to keep unless you were to put it in a plastic bottle with a top on it. This can kind of sit in the window, and what they'll be able to notice is that this changes very little from this state. This is not much is going to happen here. Okay, as compared to that, tons of stuff happens after a while. Okay, so we have been on for a little while. That was fun. We hung out for a bit. So I definitely want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie Twin, for coming by. Thank you all for watching, all the support that you've given over the years. I always say that, over the years, because some of you have been um, watching in person and have been helping with Saturday program for years, and then some of you have really have not missed an episode in any way. Like, even if you don't watch it live, you come on and you watch it later and all that type of stuff. And so I definitely want to say thank you for doing all of that. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, share this content with your fellow educators and family members, and of course with your young developing scientists. Folks, we need more scientists, and to do that we have to inspire, empower, and encourage them to go into the STEAM fields. All right, so yes, if you want some more information about all the other things that we've got coming up, because one more thing. Next Saturday, good Lord willing, we've got a lot going on. We just do. But next Saturday, we are hoping to be in person. So definitely touch base with me about that as we get closer to the spaces there. But we need to make sure we have enough students registered. If we don't have enough students registered, y'all will see me online again. Okay. So yes, I'm going to sign off here first. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been Science with Ms Steph, episode 7 of season 2. Thank you for watching. Yes, yes, yes.